Story number one. A few years ago, I rented an apartment from a friend. He had just bought it, renovated it, and put it up for sale, but since it didn't sell, I offered to rent it. After moving in, I noticed something strange about the woman next door. She was about 45, but looked much older. She stayed up all night listening to Christian radio and talking loudly to someone. It got so bad that I couldn't sleep, so I went to her door to ask her to be quiet. When she opened the door, I got a quick look inside. The walls were covered in crosses and words like Jesus and angels. The windows were painted black. The carpet was dirty and stained, and there were cockroaches everywhere. No dog, but it smelled like one had lived there. I asked her politely to turn the volume down, but she just stared at me, closed the door, and then turned the radio up even louder. The next night, my girlfriend was staying over. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw a shadow standing next to the bed. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but then the shadow spoke. It was my neighbor. She had broken into my apartment and was holding something in her hand. She just said, "You should lock your doors at night," then walked out. The next morning, I heard noises outside my bedroom window. It was her again, speaking in tongues, holding a plastic bag. Inside the bag was her dead dog, rotting in the heat. The smell was horrible. I was terrified. I went upstairs to ask another neighbor if he knew what was going on. He was just as scared. She had broken into his place too. He once found her standing behind his couch while he was watching TV with his kids, holding a power drill. That's when I realized what she had probably been holding the night she came into my room. I finally called the police. They already knew about her. She was a violent schizophrenic who wasn't taking her meds. But since she owned her apartment, the cops couldn't do anything unless she was outside. For 2 nights, I stayed awake, waiting. Finally, around 2 o'clock, she went out to buy cigarettes. I called the cops immediately. Within minutes, 3 cars and a special van showed up. They caught her, restrained her, and took her away to an institution. Just like that, she was gone. I never saw her again, but I still have nightmares about waking up and seeing her standing by my bed, staring at me. Story number 2. I was about 15 minutes away from finishing my night shift when I heard a loud crash at the office window. When I checked, I saw that someone had thrown a big rock through the front window. It was strange because it was 11:30 p.m. in the industrial district, and all the other businesses were closed. I called security to report it, then decided to head home. On the way out, I was spooking myself, so I ran to my car, jumped in, and drove off. Almost home, I calmed down a bit, until I realized I never unlocked my car when I got in. It had already been unlocked. My first thought was that someone might be in the back seat, so I reached back quickly to check. But there was nothing. About 30 minutes later, I called a friend who was out drinking, and I decided to join him. I hopped on my bike and started riding over. It was a nice night, and I was taking my time. Then I heard someone riding behind me. I moved to the side, and the person slowly passed me. When he got beside me, he gave me this crazy, insane smile. I froze for a second, but then I noticed he was riding my mom's bike. I bolted home immediately. Sure enough, when I got there, my mom's bike was gone, and one of my car doors, the back left one, was wide open. I had never touched that door. I don't know who that was and what he wanted. After all that, I just left thinking everything. Story number 3. This is the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. I worked the night shift at a campground from midnight to a.m. Most nights were quiet. I'd bring my PS2 and play games, only having to help a couple of people if it got busy. I worked alone in a small shack surrounded by darkness. During my first week, the guy I replaced told me about a payphone a few feet from the shack. He said it rang every night at 4:17 a.m., just once. He thought it was probably some automated test call, but he admitted he'd never answered it. For months, I didn't think about it. During the summer, I kept the windows shut so I didn't hear the phone. But by mid-August, I left the windows open and sure enough, at 4:17 every morning, the phone would ring once. The sound of the ring was strange, like it was underwater. One night, I decided to answer. I set an alarm for 4:15, waited by the phone, and when it rang, I picked up. Nothing. Just silence like someone was on the line but not speaking. I said hello a few times then hung up. I tried it every night for a week. Same thing, dead air. Eventually, I stopped caring and left it alone. About a month later in October, I decided to try again. At 4:17, the phone rang. I answered and said hello over and over. This time I heard a sound, like someone sucking air through clenched teeth. Then a rough, gravelly voice spoke. It said my full name first, middle, and last. I froze. My voice caught in my throat, and I hung up immediately. Panicking, I put some coins in the pay phone and hit the button to trace the last number. This video ends here. Hit the subscribe button for more horror stories.